football games of the week. Penn State at Ohio State and Michigan at Michigan State. With Alex Bryan, Kyle Golick, Sean Vergoven, and Dominic Gray.
Welcome to Smacking Off the Podcast.
With your hosts, Shannon Madden and Doug Phillips.
Shannon's not here.
Well, Shannon's here in spirit, right?
He's always here in spirit.
Right. So there we go.
He probably couldn't be here because he got his tires from bad mouth.
I didn't mess with him on this one because
it's Big
of
Ten
it being
football.
Wednesday night, and he's got something he typically does Wednesday night, and I didn't even mess with it.
It's his bowling night in Alabama.
It is bowling night.
Probably.
Wings and bowling.
For sure.
Alabama.
That sounds great. That sounds great.
Wings and bowling. Wings and bowling is pretty good.
Yeah, that's Friday.
Although you really need a good napkin.
We're going bowling.
Unless you want to drop that shit on your foot.
So, of course, like we said before we started recording, the Wolverine fan isn't here right now.
No,
Big shocker. Big shocker, guys.
Yeah.
Can always count on a Wolverine to fail, you know?
Jerry Ford made it down the stairs always. He'll tell you that.
That's one thing the three of us can just agree on.
And Biden made it up the stairs,
them.
kind of.
Fuck the Wolverines, you know?
Pretty much. I mean, we're
That's fair.
all on that.
I mean, it's fair.
I don't care how many times Ohio State breaks my heart or how many times Penn State just complete. Oh, look at that!
Oh, there he
Showed
is.
up!
Oh,
shit!
look at that dog shit on his shirt.
Oh, God.
I know, right?
Man.
Then I'm not ready. I have nowhere to go. I guess I'll just do it in the bedroom.
Yeah.
What's up, fellas?
I'm in my office, man.
That's what I do. I do it in
I'm
the
in my
bedroom.
cave too, man. I'm
I'm in the bathroom.
My iPad up and I'm just.
I got so you know how that goes.
All right, we talking Ohio State, Penn State first.
Oh,
Alrighty.
Big bet.
I got
90% of the time, this is going to be the highlight game, but this year, Penn State done fucked it up.
well, we fucked it up good. What a disaster!
Kyle, tell me about it, man, because I'm pissed.
I'm gonna tell you this. We're gonna go back a few weeks ago to Iowa City when Penn State looked like it was about the boat race. Iowa, I mean, life was good. You know, gas was still like under $3 a gallon here in Pennsylvania.
Rip.
Like, I mean,
It was a different world, wasn't it, Kyle?
Thanks, Joe Biden. Thanks.
I'm
Hey, I'll
loving
take
life.
it.
And
I'll
I
take
mean,
the expensive
nothing
gas.
gets hurt, and I'm like, you know what? It's okay. We got a D line. Life is good. And then all of a sudden, what we hoped wouldn't happen happened. And since then, for about what I would say 6 plus quarters plus 9 overtime periods, I've probably watched the most disgraceful, horrible, disastrous football of Penn State football I've seen in my lifetime. I mean, even in the dark Paterno era, they weren't this bad. I mean, that includes like a 3-9 Penn State team with like Gino Capone and Zach No Skills Mills. I mean, this was a disaster.
So, Kyle, I got to go. Kyle, I got to go. I need to tell you this, Kyle, and this is a spoiler because this will be on this episode. Timothy Bailey. He's got your man on your team sucks donkey balls this week.
I mean, you can put us in whatever position you want to, because when you play as disgraceful and as disastrous as we have, we deserve whatever. Because you saw my life ballot. I mean, Spoiler alert. I mean, you can't be that bad. Like, I've never watched a football game, and this. You probably have to go back to the 6-4 Iowa game where it was like, hey, it's just like slow water torture death. And that's what it was for Iowa. And then I'm going to a wedding. I was going to a wedding. I was sitting in the back. I had the game on my iPhone. My wife's like, why are you subjecting yourself to this? And I'm sitting here going, I don't know. But it's like, I knew they were going to lose, but I'm just sitting here like, I got to see for the outside chance. And I mean, it's like how I don't have any answers. Like there's no physical play. Like then our defense, like some moron in college football universe is trying to tell me, well, Penn State has the number 2 defense in the country, and you got to realize, and he's trying to tell me, you got to realize it's more than just one injury that dictates this. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, motherfucker, did you just watch a game where Penn State nearly gave up 400 rushing yards to Illinois?
The worst part about it is, though,
they literally became so one-dimensional. Like, I was literally swearing and like in my head, and I was like, can we at least put like a stacked defense? If like somehow complete a pass and burn us over the top, God bless it. But they weren't hitting shit. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm going, this is a disaster. Like, there's no penetration, like, with anything.
Oh, no, you got penetrated.
Oh, you
did.
Penetrated.
no loop. No, the worst part about it is not that you lost to Illinois, it's that you lost to Brett fucking Bielema.
No,
worst part.
Hold on. The true travesty in all of this is a 9 overtime game that still can't manage to hit the over of 45 points.
That is true.
Accurate.
Thank you.
You know, I was telling my buddies, we have a little Penn State chat. And when here's what really bothered me. So it was this late second half in that game. It was either late third or early fourth. Penn State forces the third turnover of the game against Illinois. They're deep in Illinois territory. They're 20 yards to go. And I'm saying they need to get 6 here. They managed to not move forward at all. And Stout comes out. And I've been telling everyone all year, he misses the weirdest kicks. He misses one from the right hash. There was about 42, 43 yards. And I told him, we're gonna rue the day that he missed that kick. He makes that kick. Penn State escapes, regulation with a 3-point win. Disgraceful as it would be, but I'd rather win ugly than lose embarrassingly every time of the week. So
hey, you're talking to a dude whose team lost 35, who lost that with a 35-3 lead over Illinois. So totally understand where you're coming from on that one.
Yeah. So I'm just sitting here going like everyone's like, and then everyone's all on Franklin's nuts about, where's James Franklin going to be coaching? Is he going to USC, to the University of Florida Children?
He's apparently coaching his team at the Big House this weekend
against Illinois. Yeah.
And you wonder why you lose.
That's crazy. That he's that I don't think he's that out of sorts. I think he might have something else on his mind. I don't think it's necessarily a job.
He got Nick Saban's agent, Jimmy Sexton. He's down in Baton Rouge with Shannon Russell.
Who is that?
Trying to get that deal together.
Just leave
James Franklin
when you're done.
Who's that, Mel Tucker?
I mean,
hey. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
I mean, James Franklin might have fucked that up, but he's not wrong in a sense because Ohio State does own the Big House as well. So
hey,
that's true.
Can't say anything about it. That's true.
I mean,
can't say anything about it. I mean, listening to you cry about Penn State that one game sounds like the last 10 years of my entire life.
The only thing I got saving grace on is Penn State went to the Big House last year.
I was at the beach in Galveston, and the guy with the OU hat on said, "You guys just lost to Appalachian State," and I was like, "Oh, that's funny." I get home, and that was kind of the turning point. I think that was the even though that season we won a good bowl game and beat Tim Tebow and all them in Florida, it doesn't matter. I think that was
that's the only time Michigan ever beat Urban Meyer.
Yes, it was. It was a great game too, man. Back and forth.
Was it 41-35? If I'm not
something like that, yeah. But something about Penn State, and I know the SEC guys always give me shit. They're like, "Oh my God, 9 overtimes and they only had 40-some whatever points, 30-some points."
38.
There was a lot of defense in that game. I don't know where those defenses rank, but those defenses, those players were hitting. There wasn't a lot of big plays in the game.
No.
So to say that the Big Ten doesn't play defense, it's a travesty. You can't tell the SEC.
That might be all we play. That might be all we play.
Yeah, right. The Big Ten currently has 4 or 5 of the top 11 defenses in the country right now.
Yeah.
Almost 50%.
Yeah.
So
Kyle, you see what somebody can see when they don't have anything riding on a game?
Oh yeah.
See, he's seen all the good shit from both teams, and you didn't see that shit because it pissed you off.
exactly, just like coming this Saturday, I won't see shit. Nor Sean. Sean will be inconsolable. Sean will be inconsolable.
Okay.
Inconsolable.
All right. Well,
If his team
Dom, before we get to that, let them finish up the JV game this week, and then we'll get to ours.
JV game.
Okay.
Ooh.
I mean,
I don't care what anyone says. I wouldn't put Penn State out of the water the way the Big Ten's playing this. They could beat the Bucks.
Hey, watch your mouth. Let's not talk fallacies here. Okay.
how do you here's what I gotta ask Dom. I'm gonna ask Dominic since he brought it up. Like, what have you seen from outside of the generic any given Saturday? Because that's the only logical answer to it. But I don't even find watching it. What have you seen from Penn State that could go into Ohio State? Well, they'll probably get lost on their way to the big house, and beat Ohio State in prime time. I mean,
Not a damn thing.
Getting there right when ESPN kicks off coverages.
Nothing sticks out to me.
I got
So now with that,
watch much.
Kyle.
I haven't had a chance to watch much Penn State football this year.
Yeah.
But-
So Kyle, but on the flip side of that though, James Franklin has nobody to blame but himself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at what Mel Tucker did in the portal, right? You guys bent Sean Clifford last year in favor of Will Levy, whatever his name is, who transferred.
Quarterback draw Dunning's team.
Yeah.
And
you didn't go out and get a single quarterback transfer. You benched your quarterback this year. And then he got injured, and that's why you lost Iowa. And I think Franklin's just lost the team, to be perfectly honest.
They got a good one coming in, though.
I think
Drew Allar. They got a good one coming in.
The truth, if he keeps his commitment, fingers crossed.
He's going to be a real deal.
I mean, here's what's so overwhelming. Clifford, I don't care what James Franklin says. If you're telling me put a 50% at best, Sean Clifford against Illinois was the best answer, what does that say about Taquan Roberson or Christian Veilleux? That's sad. You're halfway through the season. You can't even let's be real here. Illinois is ass. You should be able to get away if you think you're elite.
Not wrong.
If you're elite, we're going to put that in quotation marks here because Penn State's we aren't. Okay. I got myself one of them.
Okay. All right. Has to show his little.
Of those at home.
Has to show his Big Ten title football against Ohio State, the pizza game, as they call it.
What's that like?
Here's where I'm going with this. You if you're that good, we've seen Ohio State throw in the 14 season every quarterback on the roster to get to a national title. We've seen Michigan State have to go to the well for things. Hell, even Michigan has in the past. You're telling me that you couldn't trust Taquan Roberson with a simplified offense and trying to use something completely different, or even Christian Veilleux in attempt to
salvage your season?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean,
well, and Kyle, this isn't going to come as a shock because we've talked about it before. James Franklin isn't a good coach. He's a hell of a recruiter. He's a crap coach, though.
It's that's the thing. It's what do you do in this situation?
He did good his first few years in the big, though. So kind of like Mel Tucker right now. Is he a good coach? Is Franklin a good coach?
If he's a crap coach, what does that make Harbaugh? Because he at least has a Big Ten title. Franklin does.
Harbaugh doesn't have a Big Ten title, but in the same thing, I mean, trust me, I loved Harbaugh hire.
You did.
Now, Harbaugh hasn't had the same staff. I mean, you got to look at these coaches. You have 50% turnover on your staff.
Penn State
Nick Saban
literally hasn't had the same staff since Franklin got there. You can go through.
So does Nick Saban.
Went to the NFL.
The guys are right now.
Gaddis went to Alabama, then Michigan. You got.
Well, it's because neither of them do anything to imbue loyalty into their staff. I mean, that's
and they don't develop players.
No.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there's that.
I was bringing this. Well,
Franklin does to a point, though.
Well, I was bringing this up in our Penn State group. It's like, what, because we haven't developed a great offensive line. Did we get the most out of a Saquon Barkley? I know sure as hell we didn't get the most out of Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
I look at Adolphe Oweh in Baltimore, and I'm sitting here going, man, we could have blitzed him more off the edge in Happy Valley. Let's be real here. Him and Micah Parsons are in the top of the pass rushers. I've always said to you, Alex, year after year, Ohio State, Penn State to close the gap has to have those elite edge rushers that Ohio State always have. Look at the rookie stats this year in the NFL. The top two, the top three are Penn Staters.
Yeah, but when you look at what Ohio State does, it's not. Yeah, and Alex, I'm not taking anything away from the young Chase Young or the Bosa's here, but yes, they're very, very good. But the overlooked piece of all of that is their defensive tackle, because their defensive tackle takes up 2 to 3 men, and so now they got one-on-one on the outside.
Yeah,
they're not getting double teamed a bunch. And so it's one of those. You guys never had a good defensive tackle to just, get up there and block and take those two centers.
And just think about it. Just think about it.
You're talking about taking 2 guys out of each play with 1 tackle. I mean, that's you go back to what's his name, Mr. Number 1 commit in the country comes to Michigan, and we don't see shit from him because he's double teamed and he doesn't have a coach.
Well, and
he goes to the NFL. I don't know what he's doing this year.
Penn State had Larry Johnson. I just want to point that out. They had Larry Johnson. They could have promoted that man and kept him.
We did.
But they just.
He wanted to be head coach. He was up to defensive coordinator. We gave him, would you make Larry Johnson a head coach at Ohio State? Probably not.
No way.
He was for a game and he won. Sean knows.
Keep in mind, Ohio State fired. Keep in mind, Ohio State fired Luke Fickell after going 6-7 with 3 weeks' notice on the season, and possibly the worst roster in the history in the last 20 years of Ohio State. They fired that man after 1 season.
And that team was very, very close to being way better than that, because they lost 6 of their 7 games by 7 or less points.
They lost to Michigan, and Ohio State wasn't having it that year. I was at that game.
Yeah.
So you actually have seen Michigan beat Ohio State.
Slightly overthrown.
Only 40 years old managed to see it twice.
Get back to the point, Sean. Penn State had that
one time. That was the Alabama.
They had one. His name was Mustafa, PJ. He got hurt in Iowa. Done for the year. He was playing at a level that he was getting into the Mel Kiper's day 2 draft board. He wasn't a day 1 guy that Alex has, but hey, we'll take. He was playing a year where he would have gotten first team All Big Ten honors, maybe an All American mention. But he was playing great football before he got hurt.
Me and Kyle have done this Penn State Ohio State thing the last couple years, and I feel bad for you, man. You sound more and more depressed every time we do these.
I'm the only Penn Stater in the group that would show up for this one. I
don't even see what's his name as much anymore. He was on the podcast with us last year. Yeah, Chris.
We actually watched the Wisconsin game together here in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't even see him much anymore, and he's always the one that says
he's been busy with work, I think, down in Tennessee. But
Penn State could be 0-11 and play Ohio State, and he'd be like, "We're gonna beat them by 3 touchdowns."
Yeah, he's the internal. If he's the internal optimist, I'm the internal pessimist.
Right.
Well, and I think it truly comes down to expectations. We talked about it before the season. It comes down to expectations and the reality of where you are in college football, right? So when you look at it and you take Ohio State, for example, a 10-2 season, that's bordering on catastrophic. Damn near fire the coach at 10-2.
Right now, that is.
Yeah.
Not forever, but right now, the way that's where it's wrong. It is always going to be the expectation. That is always going to be the expectation.
And you guys,
Right.
specifically both of your teams, you guys have been so mentally abused and beaten down by your current coaches that you're willing to accept a 10-2 as a good season. When you guys were competing for national championships, both of your teams, your fan bases.
Oh yeah, I mean,
like you guys have just gotten so beaten down.
I just get my heart broke.
But I mean, you look at the message boards, you look at the forums, you look at Twitter, everything, and it's like, hey, if we go 10-2 and we beat Ohio State, that's a great season. And you're like, you guys were competing for Big Ten championships and national championships and everything. Same thing with Penn State, and you guys have just gotten beaten down so much that you sound like a Michigan State fan of, hey, 10-2, we're happy.
Well, I mean, we're much like how the Michigan State fan hasn't been.
And the board suck right now. Would you take a loss to Michigan State and a win against Ohio State and call it a successful season? I don't consider a successful season one loss. I don't care who it's to. If you can't compete for a national championship, that's the way it is.
Yeah, but the problem is you have 5 teams, 6 teams a season that can actually compete for a national championship. Everybody else is just kind of playing for second place.
You got to accept where you are as a program, and that's a tier 2 program.
And if you want to take that next step, you got to do something.
I mean, that's why for this week, this is why this game is so big for Mel Tucker. Because sure, we can sit here and we can say we're 7-0 and we have a Heisman contender and Kenneth Walker and possibly a contender for the Big Ten wide receiver of the year, 2 of them. But when you look at who we've played, we haven't played anybody that's been really even good or average. I think we played one team who is currently above 500.
No, same with us, dude. We haven't anybody.
Currently in this chat, amongst the Big Ten people in this chat, Kyle's team is the one that's played and won the best game so far. And that's
who's that?
Auburn.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
We played Oregon. We lost. That was about it.
Yeah,
at least, Kyle, you have that to hang your hat on.
In Oregon,
our best win is Miami right now.
How the hell did that happen? I can't believe Oregon beat Ohio State and then goes the next week. Have they lost 2 games since?
No, they lost
Ohio
one.
State?
They lost Stanford.
Stanford
Oregon.
Stanford. Yeah, one of those.
Stanford always packs that damn Pac-10, man. They always do.
Stanford is to the Pac-12 what like Purdue is to our league. They'll
absolutely. They will fuck people up. One game a year, they will mess somebody up.
I mean, you got to also the other thing is too. Stanford is to the Pac-12 as quarterback you as Purdue is to our league. You look at the quarterbacks that have come out of West Lafayette. Hard to argue that resume. I mean,
Stanford isn't that far removed from being like a Pac-12 champ. I mean, they won it not that long ago.
That's like being the MAC champ, though. That's not.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
If it's not USC,
water.
No cares.
Water, man.
Yeah. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. There are only 2 programs in the Pac-12 that anybody gives a damn about. It's Oregon and it's USC, and you think of how much Oregon had to go through to get to that point.
Yeah. And it's been like a 30-year journey for them.
Yeah.
Give me Oregon right now against this Buckeye team, and it's a 3-touchdown minimum win for the Buckeyes.
I don't know about that, but definitely.
I think they'd keep it within 10, but it would be a hell of a game.
Our switching up our defensive coordinator is going to be the biggest difference in this whole freaking season. If we kept Kerry Coombs, I'm not nearly as confident this Saturday. I'm not nearly as confident against even Purdue, who gives us headaches all the time. I'm definitely not as confident against the final 2 teams on our schedule in MSU and the Wolverines. But that change has made all the difference, and I think that's going to really start showing this Saturday.
Speaking of this Saturday, let's go ahead and break this game down. Penn State at Ohio State.
Well, I mean, for obviously, like we've said, the rankings of both teams isn't as shiny as it was a week ago. It was going to be another huge Big Ten matchup for the weekend. Now it's kind of lost its luster a little bit. I'm sure.
Probably would have had game day there for sure.
Right. I'm sure weather is going to be a thing that keeps fans maybe at home and all that stuff. We'll see, but it's still a big game for us, though. You can never take Penn State lightly. Last year, we started off pretty good against them, and then we were in a dogfight late. 2016, I still wish I could get that game back. That's one that really grinds my freaking gears, much like like what Sean showed with his 2013 Big Ten title football. That's a game I wish we could get back.
You were never going to win that game.
We were a play away from winning that game. I don't know what you're talking about. A bad fourth down call changed that whole game.
You lost. You lost by 10 points. I don't hear
no Buckeye fan talk about bad calls ever. Ever.
Let me guess. It was all Ohio refs, right?
Fuck those guys, dude. Fuck those guys.
I was at that game.
Hey, I'll tell
you what. Previewing this game.
All I will ever say about that game is I don't care no ref from any school, Michigan, Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, should ever ref a game that has a fucking shrine to that university, one of the universities in their goddamn dadgum basement. That's all I'll ever say about it. I don't know if JT was short. I don't know this or that.
He wasn't.
But I always teach the kids that I coach, we never complain about refs. But this year, last week alone, I saw just some heinous shit in 10-year-old football, and the ref laughed and said, I can't believe you did that. But you didn't throw the flag. It just...
all I'm saying, I sat through nine defeats to the Wolverines in a row, and a lot of it was from Ann Arbor head official David Whittifit. So, yeah.
Hey, I agree. If that's the case, no ref that is a fan of that team should ever be able to ref the game. I can't believe that they allow it.
I just want to point out that the ref that called the first down for JT Barrett is a Wolverine fan. I just want to let you know that.
Right. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guy that's smacking Mike Weber on his ass as he runs out on the field.
Refs do that all the time. Come on.
Tom Brady gets high fives from literally every ref in the NFL.
Right. Exactly. That happens all the time. Anyway.
Let's make sure.
What's going to happen to this game, guys?
Yeah, but this is still a big game for Ohio State. And
a big game for Penn State.
Buckeyes win 24-17.
Yeah, we can't take them lightly.
No.
But they're going to get a lot of good tape from that Illinois game, and that's going to be huge for us when it comes to winning this game. Their defense is great, but I think we can mix up a lot of things to open our wide receivers up in the pass game. Obviously, we got a slew of running backs that are doing their thing. Travion Henderson alone, he's doing some amazing things for a freshman.
Henderson's going to win you this game. They were giving up like 4.5 yards per carry to Brown out of Illinois, and Henderson's like 5 times the player he is.
Right.
Well, I gotta ask Alex this first.
All right.
What's the chances that Penn State does the unthinkable and pulls this game out?
Oh, there's always a chance.
I mean, absolutely, but
it fucks the whole Big Ten up.
Especially at a primetime game at home, we seem to really screw the pooch on those. It seems there's always a chance for Penn State to beat us.
What kind of chance would you give them?
40%.
Really? Because I got a feeling that Kyle's not going to give them that high of a chance.
What? That's
I'm serious. I'm serious. Outside of Purdue. And somewhat Michigan State in recent years, the team that's given us the most headaches in the last 20 years has been Penn State. They've taken some Big Ten titles from us, and when they shouldn't have. And we gotta take them seriously.
They're gonna be pissed off. 20%.
That's some Brady Hoke self-loathing crap right there.
They're gonna be pissed off, and I mean at the lowest 30%, but 30 to 40%. I mean we can't overlook these guys.
Kyle, what do you think?
Can't overlook these guys.
0% chance.
Come on now, get the fuck out of here, Kyle.
Look,
Flying squirrel gets a nut once in a while, right, Sean?
Right.
Look.
They play us close a lot.
You know, when I was a younger fella, Penn State played it was a top 10 matchup in Happy Valley. It was against Miami, the U, Steve Unger, who's our U fan. He's still alive. I'm going to give you back to some halcyon days, Gino Torretta and whatnot. Penn State outplayed Miami. They basically lost that game because A, they couldn't do nothing in the red zone, and 2, they missed a bunch of field goals. They lost that game, I think, 17-14. That team entered that game 5-0 and then finished the rest of the way 2-5. I know it doesn't have any merit on these guys, but I just see the same things I saw all them years ago with this team, that they're deflated. You know, Franklin hasn't, he hasn't really stirred up any confidence, especially with the coaching rumors and his gas of late and whatnot. When you play Ohio State, and Vergoven and Dom can point this out too from their point of view, you got to be physical. You got to be able to match the physicality in the trenches. We ain't physical. We're about as soft as Charmin in the trenches. Okay.
10-ply, bud.
Yeah. We don't. Franklin wants to play a glorified 7-on-7 drill. We can't run the football. We can't make up our mind who our running back is. We do like 4 different backs a game. Kane, Lee.
Oh, I've heard that before.
Love it.
You got to have speed too.
Yeah.
Because that's how teams like Purdue beat us. They had a guy who was speedy, and we couldn't tackle him to save our ass. And he ran all over us all night, basically.
We got that guy in Dotson, but I mean, I love our receiving core with Washington and Lambert.
Yeah, you guys got a good receiving core.
If you can't block, and if you can't, if the running backs can't understand the read and pick up the right block at the right times for Clifford to make that read, to make that throw, it don't matter how great your receivers are. What Purdue does well is they block enough time for their quarterback to read his progressions and make the throw. On the defensive side of the ball, losing Mustapher this year completely destroyed that defensive line. Like he was making up for a lot of the deficiencies the other guys had. I don't see any pickup in the interior, and that's where we're getting beat up on, is they clog the interior, and the edge rushers just get blown off, and you see in Illinois, they're getting 7-8 yards of carry. Or I would be willing to bet, if we look at the stat sheet from last week, our secondary members like Joey Porter Jr. and Jaquan Brisker had the most tackles last week. Look, you can't do these things in Big Ten play against the schools that are in this chat. You lose every time. 0%. Ohio State 55, Penn State 9. It's going to be bad and ugly.
I hope so. I'll be there.
All right, so give us your score prediction, Alex.
I just want to finish with this saying, this is a game that Coach Day for the Buckeyes, Penn State still has a little bit of that cachet, and this is the game where, hey, it'll if they ram our shit in and blow us out of the water, it's gonna mean something. So I expect a Ryan Day team. I expect it to be ugly early, like Ohio State get up 21-0, and then Franklin does something stupid like, let's go for it on the 4th and 2 at our own 28-yard line. We get stuffed, and then Ohio State gets another cheat.
I love it. It's going to be ugly. I'm not looking forward to this one. I plan on I got a nice bottle of Stolichnaya ready for me for that game.
Alex,
hear that with old Sean here.
First and foremost, they'll play us close for a bit. I fully expect it. It's always a battle with Penn State. I do think we pull away late, though. I'm gonna say
by late you mean the second quarter, yeah.
I'm gonna say Ohio State 49, Penn State 21, something along those lines. They'll test our defense for sure. But speaking of wide receivers, before we move on to this next game. Sean, why is the Detroit Free Press saying that MSU has the best wide receiver core in the Big Ten, sir?
Who do you have besides Olave?
Wilson, Jackson Smith and Jigba. Julian. Julian
number one, because the Wolverines don't have a wide receiver. and so therefore they can't actually talk about them and give them credit for it. So therefore they default to Ohio State.
Don't see, dude. Why bring us up? He asked you a question about your school.
Yeah, he asked me why the Detroit media was saying that the Michigan State has the best wide receiver core in the Big Ten.
Right.
And I blatantly told him because Detroit media can't talk about Wolverines, so they're going to talk about us.
The headline read, it was about your wide receiver coach, and it says, meet the man behind the best wide receiver core in the Big Ten. And I'm thinking, did Olave, Wilson, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, did they all die?
I think it has more to do with just
the
pure
blasphemy.
stats.
The blasphemy. The absolute gall.
Who is it? Naylor and who?
Naylor, Reed, Mosley.
What are they? What are they compared to Ohio State yardage wise?
Hold on. Oh, let me give me a second. Damn.
I figured you had it down, Sean.
I haven't been focusing on Michigan or Ohio State. It's been focused on you, dummy.
Yeah, I
hold on.
Tagged 100 times this week alone.
Yeah, you have. And all of them are the fucking trouble with the snap.
I'm not taking the bait.
Are we ready to talk about the mitten now? The battle.
Yeah, let's talk about the mitten game here.
The battle of the mitten.
Oh man.
Fun.
Take the floor, you guys. Let all
right.
You know, I'm on another page that's all Big Ten teams, and I see nothing but Wolverine versus Spartan fights. I think Sean's a part of that group.
Yeah,
I probably am.
The Big Ten Unrivaled.
Yeah.
Join that group.
Dude, that page.
Dude, that group is lit. There's a Wolverine fan named James Bond who's always stirring up some shit, and he's always whining about Michigan State because Michigan State fans pop off to him on the page. It's the most beautiful thing in the world. Yeah, I just sit back and I'm like, I'm not a part of this. This is great.
All right, now let me start this off by saying this. That I have nothing, Dom is a friend, I have nothing but respect for him. So, let me start off by saying that. Now, with that being said, this rivalry runs deep, and he knows this. This is not a rivalry that we take lightly. Alex, I know we've talked about it, and Ohio State fans are always like, oh, no, we want to be 11-0 when we play. That way, when we beat them, it means more.
No, fuck that. No way. Yeah. I want them to be 0-11.
Yes, we want them to lose every game, every day, in every sport. Like it just runs deep.
And
so,
you know, that's
go ahead.
And here's what somebody did you see the Huge the other day? Huge asked, who's your favorite 3 teams to beat? I'm 45 years old. My favorite team to beat is Ohio State, and then then Notre Dame, and then Penn State. Those were the 3 biggest rivalries that I watched in the last since D'Antonio, basically.
Sure.
Michigan State has had the upper hand on Michigan's. I think since 2000, I don't know what it is since 2000.
2006.
2006. But if you go from 2000, why we go to 2006, I don't know. Maybe you could tell me. But if you go from 2000 to now, we have a 11-10 thing. But you wouldn't feel, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like a fucking 20-0. But
well, because the reason we go from 2006 is because it was when D'Antonio was hired and Carr retired. So it was kind of the changing from Carr to whatever to the 17 coaches you guys have had since then.
Plus, we don't like to talk about John L. Smith. We don't
smile.
Hey,
bad motherfucker right there. That's a bad man, that John L. Smith. I don't know him or Bobby Williams. I don't know. Those are my 2 favorites. No, but Michigan State was never. And I didn't go to Michigan. I didn't get a college degree. I'm not an arrogant fan. But Michigan State has never been, until 2006, a worry. They beat us a few times when it mattered.
We were always good for an upset once every 5 to 7 years.
Exactly.
Yeah, 1998.
More than that. Maybe once every 3 years, you guys would be good for an upset. More than that. So I never really thought of Michigan State as, okay, yeah, it's a state rivalry, but now it's a little bit more heated. You got fuckers like Sean tagging you in every motherfucking thing for weeks to come for this game.
We had a bye week. I had nothing better to do.
Hey, guys, I got to ask one thing.
I don't live there.
And I'm sure that one of y'all can answer this. When is the last time that both teams was undefeated coming into this game?
1965.
Really?
Before our time.
When the Spartans won the Natty? that year?
Yeah.
Bubba Smith.
That's the last time that both teams were undefeated.
Well, the last time they were both top 10. Last time when they were both undefeated, it was like the 4th game in, so it doesn't really count.
Okay.
True.
Police.
So,
I'll say that right now. I don't remember a game ever, where we both were considered good top 10. Where
no. This is the biggest game in the rivalry in the past 25 years.
Right. And it's Jim Harbaugh's most important game, 550. Most important game for Jim Harbaugh.
Harbaugh's never lost in East Lansing as a player or coach.
I know.
That's a true statement.
He's won 3 out of the last 5 there, or whatever the hell, against Michigan State. But I don't.
That last year's one still blows my mind.
That last year's game, and I'm not talking shit about Michigan State. Sean will agree. On paper, that was a motherfucking Texas high school team that beat Michigan. I'll tell you what. Last year's loss to Michigan State was the biggest surprise to me. It was bigger than Appalachian State, bigger than when he has trouble with the motherfucking snap. I couldn't believe it. I was so
I was wrong about Mel Tucker. I was wrong about that guy.
Hey, I have done nothing but eat crow for the last 9 weeks.
Yeah.
Because you all heard what I had to say about Tucker.
Tucker,
we were on the same page.
Tucker did good with the
portal?
transfer portal, but
he did.
Like Sean said earlier, Michigan State he doesn't really feel confident. They haven't played anybody. Michigan. I even said on your Michigan State board, Sean, I didn't see Michigan and Michigan State winning 10 games between the two of them this year.
Nope. I at the top end, I had us at 6-6, and I considered that was a fantastic season.
Totally.
I was when I made my preseason prediction, I was like 4-8. I can see 2 teams that we will definitively beat, and that was Western Kentucky, or not Western Kentucky. It was Rutgers. It was like one of our in conference, like Illinois, Rutgers, somebody like that, and then it was Youngstown State. Those were the only 2 games where I'm like, we will definitely win these. Everything else is a toss up.
I had MSU 5-7 and the Wolverines 7-5.
I had both Michigan State and Michigan at 7-5.
See, I can't remember, but I usually don't pick because I'm afraid of a jinx, but I was right along those lines. I was worried about Western Michigan. I had Washington as a loss. I had
Washington. Well, and I think part of it too was we both kind of lucked out with the marquee out of conference matchups that we expected to be like, oh hey, if we win this is going to be a great setup game, yada yada yada. Totally. Washington is shit. And then Miami is just totally crap in the bed.
Exactly. I remember when they scheduled Washington, I was like, oh, man, if we win, that'll be a real good, Pac-10 win. That's a solid win. We're going to be okay.
They lost to Montana the week before they played Michigan.
I couldn't believe it. I was so pissed off, man. I was like, get me.
Not only that, but I think they got held to 7 points in their own stadium.
Yeah, against an FCS team. Yeah. Not even North Dakota State.
Now, Dom.
Yes.
There's a really important question here, sir.
Yeah, I got you.
McNamara or JJ?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, is the way I've
All right. Okay. All right.
But,
so here's the thing. Go ahead, Dom. Go ahead.
But JJ is a bad dude, man. I mean, if you guys watch his tape, I think
he is.
Quinn Evers, anybody. He's just as good as any of these top 5 passing quarterbacks have been in high school. Granted,
he was Ohio State bound until we picked Kyle McCord over him.
Exactly.
So
he hates the Buckeyes. So that rings true with me because I fucking feel that.
So I hope that is fucking Harbaugh pulled a Franklin and has done nothing to prepare him. Cade McNamara is not going to win you this game. J.J. McCarthy could win you this game.
You need to start JJ now.
The problem is you needed to start JJ 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
right.
Accurate.
You do not put him in. You do not put him under center for the first time in this game.
Cade McNamara, JJ's got plenty of reps this season. Plenty.
Yeah, it's all mop up garbage time though.
No. He's got plenty of reps in the game this year. Plus, dude.
Can I chime in?
IMG.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Kyle.
garbage reps for your backup quarterback or your quarterback of the future don't mean crap in a big game like that. I.e., Taquan Roberson in Iowa City. Take it from someone who's had to live through that.
That's true.
So
That's true.
playing at IMG is different than playing at, Ypsilanti Catholic. I mean,
which is true, but he's only 12 for 19 this season for 212 yards. So I mean,
He's athletic. He's movable. He reminds me of a I don't know what he's got a weird skill set. Not a Tom Brady or a
if it was.
The way he moves is different than
this is why Jim Harbaugh's days are absolutely numbered, because if he was smart, he would have started JJ McCarthy from the jump this season. Because everybody knows Cade McNamara sucks in the pass game, and we knew that last year. He should have started JJ McCarthy from the jump, because he would have been ready enough by this game to make it into something. I mean, MSU's offense. MSU's offense is so much more balanced, and that's going to be a real big key to why they win.
Look, and here's the thing. If this game was in Ann Arbor and you decided to throw McCarthy out there just with mop-up duty reps, you got a little bit of a forgiving crowd. But you're going to East Lansing. I've been to East Lansing. It's not a fun place to go to.
I hope to go there.
It is an amazing place.
It is an amazing place, but it's not where you want to be putting a guy that has less than 20 attempts on that sheet.
My next stop is Happy Valley, though. Let me know when you come to Happy Valley, Alex. I will, sir.
So with that is and again, Mel Tucker and his staff gets paid something like $9 million a year to professionally coach football, because Mel Tucker makes like 5.5 and he's got like 4 for his assistants. So the blind man in the stadium can tell you exactly what their defensive game plan is going to be. They're going to stack 8 men in the box, and they're going to play cover 2, and they're going to make Cade McNamara beat them on the short passes. That's absolutely what they're going to do, because if you take out Cronum, whatever that dude's name is, and Haskins.
Walker, you'll remember that Saturday about 6 p.m.
Hey, listen, Braylon. Listen, Braylon, you can't name one player on Michigan State defense. So, but no, if you stop those and you force Cade McNamara to beat you every throw, Michigan State's going to win this game. He doesn't have the reps, he doesn't have the confidence, and you don't have any receivers. No. Ronnie, you're down two of your top 3 wide receivers already due to injury. So really, what are you doing? You're going to throw to a tight end. All right, awesome. You're going to throw to a tight end in the flats, and you're either going to throw to a running back coming out into the flats, or you're going to throw a small crossing route to to a wide receiver. Now, here's the problem. You're not throwing to Chris Olave or Garrett Wilson, who can take a 5-yard crossing route 75 yards for a touchdown. So Scotty Hazelton has changed up the entire Michigan State defense. Under Pat Narduzzi, it was always, hey, we're going to make you beat us with NFL throws. That's awesome, because outside of like 4 quarterbacks that you'll ever face in your college career, none of them can do that. Now, Scotty Hazelton is like, we will give you every 2-yard pass underneath us. And you have to do that every play. You can't get anxious. You can't make a mistake. And you for sure cannot get impatient and try to throw over top. The
big problem is going to be, depending on which offensive line we have, we don't know if we're getting Zinner back. I can't remember. Yeah. We got 2 guys down. We've had to shuffle our O-line. I mean, you
guys are missing Ronnie Bell big time.
Well, absolutely.
Big time. But what are you going to do? You get next man up. We've got athletes, wide receiver.
Yeah. Well, and then, because if you look at it, right, Michigan State has given up we rank like 111th in the country in passing yards given up.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what.
Because the entire premise of the defense is once you get inside the 30, you don't get those yards anymore, and we're like 7th in scoring defense. We're giving up like 300 yards a game, and nobody can ever score. Believe me, it is painful to watch, and it is heart attack inducing, but it works.
Who was that scrub team this year that put a bunch of yards up on you guys?
Western Kentucky. But to be fair, Western Kentucky puts up like 400 yards on everybody.
Right.
Yeah,
Because they're the exact opposite of Army, where they throw every play.
Yeah,
Right. Like,
they have like a top 3 passing offense.
Yeah. Well, and you got to remember, too, that every quarterback we have faced, except like one, and it was Western Kentucky, has had their season high attempts against us. And their lowest season average per attempt. Like, it is 2 to 3 yards every play that they're going to give them. And teams they make mistakes. Receivers don't catch the ball. They try to do something stupid, and the defense capitalizes. The matchup I'm most interested to see is Aiden Hutchinson. That's the one I want to watch.
I want to watch him, and I want to see him. And I'm actually anxious to see how many fucking flags Panashuk's bitch ass is going to get. That dirty son of a bitch.
At least 2 roughing the passer calls. At minimum 2. Whether or not he actually does it, it's minimum 2.
I can't believe
he now has a reputation of roughing the passer. He will get a minimum of 2 roughing the passer calls, guaranteed.
By the way,
Go ahead.
I saw an article today from the Go boards where a Wolverine fan asked the question: is this Wolverine team like the 2002 Buckeyes?
What? In what world?
Zero way.
This is what I deal with Wolverine fans, guys.
Yeah. No. So in reality, in being complete honest, Michigan has the edge in running backs, and this is with full knowledge that Kenneth Walker is at this moment a Heisman finalist, right?
Right.
At this moment, if the ceremony was today, Kenneth Walker is probably in the top 2. Now, I will give the Wolverines the edge in running back because both of them, our backup running back is nowhere near what Haskins is, right?
Right.
Now, that is the only place where I can definitively give them the edge. That is the only place. We have the better quarterback. We have the better receivers. We're tied on both lines. Linebackers, we might have the edge. It's too close. And secondary, I'll give them the secondary. Their secondary is better.
Yeah,
all right. So now that we know this, Sean, how's this going to go down?
So this game is going to come down to 5 plays. That's it. It is going to come down to 5 plays, and you won't know it until it happens when someone throws an interception, they blow a 4th down call, so like just one blown play. Because these teams are way too evenly matched to sit here and say it's going to be a negative 48 game or a 38-12.
One game, maybe 10 points.
I think it's within a touchdown either way. I think Michigan State comes out ahead, and I think it comes down to we have the better quarterback. That is why I think we end up
and more balanced offense.
Give us a score prediction.
I hope we get to that Peyton Thorne and rattle and bring your second string in.
Second string is currently charged with an OWI, so probably not him.
Who's third?
They could barely name a starter. You think they named a 3rd string? It's probably Noah Kim.
Hey, do you guys still have that Noah kid? That young kid?
Hey, tell you what, Sean, we'll let you borrow Jack Miller if you need him.
But score prediction, my guess, I'm thinking part of me wants to say it's going to be like 10-17. It's just going to be 2 major defenses. However, I think some broken plays happen. So I'm going to go 28-21 Michigan State.
All right.
I'm going to jump in real quick with that. So as Vergoven showed his Big Ten football, and I got my ancient 1986 Penn State National Championship hat on. I know I'm not probably getting a new one anytime soon.
Hey, I don't got anything in here with that. So
yeah,
if my camera was working, I'd show you my 2014 one.
God bless you. But what I like with the battle, the mitten, I really like Mel Mother Tucker. I really like Kenneth Walker. I really, really, really think this is going to be a nail biter. I'm going to go with 26-24 Sparty. I just think this is where Harbaugh's East Lansing string goes down. I think Michigan's kind of played the softer radar, and I really don't think Mel Tucker's the better coach in this game.
When you say off the radar, what do you mean? You think that Michigan's not prepared for it, or I'm just saying, when you say off the radar, do you feel that the team, the coach,
I think they have a false sense of confidence for this. I like, self-admittedly, you guys were talking, but you were mentioning, like, hey, I don't know if Michigan's been fully tested so far. This is one of those games where we're going to find out who Michigan is, and we're going to find out who Michigan State is. And Michigan State had a couple rough ones with Nebraska, and Nebraska's a hard luck team this year. And Rutgers is another hard luck team that took Michigan to the wall. So I mean, this is going to be a fun one. I can see either side win, but in this one, I really like Michigan State in comparison to Michigan. Had you guys been with McCarthy the entire season,
it'd be so different.
It'd be a different.
It absolutely would be
a different thing.
I'm not even trying to let my bias and hate for the Wolverine show, but MSU just has the more balanced offense.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm glad that McCarthy didn't start, because I'm a firm believer in breaking quarterbacks in. This year, I never thought we would be national championships contenders, but like you say, you hope every year. You never know what's going to happen in the college football landscape. I don't think we're a national championship contender. I think right now we are a Big Ten contender, especially with what's happened with the Big Ten. But
there's three things guaranteed in this life: death, taxes, and the Wolverines going on a losing escapade at the end of the season. So that starts this Saturday.
Everything changes, man. Everything changes. Everything changes at some point. I mean, 2006 on.
Give us your score prediction.
10 years from now, when we're like maybe 9-1 or 10-0 in the last 10 games against you, are you still going to say this?
Yeah, I will still say that some things.
All right, tell us what the Wolverines are going to do.
Ask Sean and them, like he said, once every 10 years they could be good for an upset. But guess what? They got a coach.
Yeah, but hold up, Dom. There's a reason for that. We care about the game more than you guys. We've always cared about the game more than you guys.
So does Ohio State right now.
No, you don't. You guys
absolutely we do.
You're a junior Texas A&M.
I love it.
You mean A&M that beat Alabama?
More rituals and more fucking scattered dogs that run and chase a fucking frisbee. All that shit.
God, please beat the crap out of them this Saturday. Oh, Jesus Christ.
How's this going down?
Let me give Dom credit. This is the first time I've actually got him to take the bait.
Dom, what's your score prediction, bud? What's your sport?
Yeah.
Say, like Sean said, I think there's going to be a couple, busted plays where defender falls down, ref makes some bullshit call for Sparty to help.
Already ref.
Of course, it's the ref.
Always ref.
No, but I think there's going to be a few busted plays. A slip receiver, interception, turnover, something like that, pick six, block punt. Maybe one or two of those plays are going to change it. I'm going to say 28-24 Michigan.
Is Sean O'Neill ref in the game?
And I'm going to need you guys to call, make sure he's okay if that does happen.
You know what? I don't typically pick on these games, but I'm going with Michigan on this one too because it's so lopsided right now. You've only got one guy picking Michigan. You got the other three picking.
Stop sucking his dick.
No, I don't suck no dick. I don't suck no dick. But you better not pick.
Well, you're a Bama fan, so we know that ain't true.
Here's what's going to happen. Michigan State's they're going to need to punt right toward the end of the game, and they're going to mishandle the punt. Michigan's going to take it back for a score.
That would be some shit.
I don't want to win like that.
That would be some shit.
Because they'll say we copied them.
Yeah, they will.
Listen. That win for Michigan State ended up nonchalantly fucking my Buckeyes out of going to the college football playoff in 2015. It kind of sucks looking back on it, but it's still funny.
If it did that, then I fully accept it because we weren't winning shit that year. Sean, thank you for the fucking muff punt. You guys made a plaque about it. It's the biggest moment in y'all school's history. Blah, blah, blah.
Nah, second. I mean, it's up there, but it definitely isn't the biggest. But it's definitely up there.
Beating Urban Meyer twice ranks above that.
Well, guys,
I'll tell you what, man, as a Michigan fan, I've never hated Michigan State until social media and guys like fucking Sean's buddies, Ryan McKibben, Mike Turner, and them run their fucking mouth. But when Michigan State beat Ohio State and that fucking kid did the fucking guitar.
Yeah, the windmill. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You know what, Dom? Fuck your team, okay? Fuck your team. Exactly a month from now, that 100-point hang up that we're gonna do on you's coming.
Bring it, Ryan Day and his brother.
Woo!
All right,
100 points, baby.
Hey, we've got a segment, Alex and Dom.
Oh yeah. Let's go.
Segment.
Well, guys,
let's go.
Guys, this was great, and I
appreciate it, man.
All right. Yep. Man, I'll talk to all y'all later, and I'll talk to Dom and Alex later in the year.
All right.
And me and Sean.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Don't forget Sean. We don't want to leave out Michigan State. We know how they feel.
Hey, the disrespect card is real.
Sean.
Real.
Hey, Sean.
We wield it like a +4 in Uno, baby. Boom.
Coming Saturday, dude. Coming for you.
Come at me. Later.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Later.
Here's 6 things that you can do to help support this podcast. Like, share and comment on our videos. Buy our merchandise. Use our affiliate web links to buy great products and services from our affiliates. And tell others about our podcast.
Visit the Smacking Off the Podcast Amazon store for awesome collegiate apparel. And help to support the podcast by making a purchase. Go to smackology.life/Amazon.